Welcome back, everyone. This is Lunar from Lunar Nexus Gaming, and I'm joined by Jenny and Bob, and we are looking stoically out at the ocean. Actually, you probably can't even tell because I'm pointing the wrong direction. Thanks, Jenny. Just drop that anywhere. That's fine. Ocean shot. Today we have a couple of goals. I'd like to get a better mount. Jenny's great and all, don't get me wrong, but I think we need something a little more firepower. And then we'll talk about how to gain XP quickly. Okay, so I've made some improvements to our hut here. I made a little balcony, and I took this wall down, and we no longer get the housing buff, which I probably have not mentioned yet. So, to explain it, I've made a little outhouse. So as soon as we go inside, you're going to notice that over here on the right-hand side, we have a little house. That's the housing buff. So when you're inside in a self-contained little area, you will get, if I remember correctly, 100 protection from cold and 50 protection from heat. And then as soon as we go outside, we will lose that buff. Or if we go into a structure that is not fully enclosed, we will still not get that. Now, the mechanics that determine whether you're enclosed or whether you're going to get that buff or not are a little weird and hard to understand, so I'm not going to go into it. But if you enclose yourself entirely in a small structure, you're going to get the buff. Second thing we should head into is XP. So there's several ways to get XP in this game. Here, let's look at that great haircut while we're talking. The first way to get XP, obviously, is just passively, right? So if we go in here and we look, this is just going to keep on going up extremely slowly. In the early game, it makes a huge difference because it only takes a couple points to get to the next level. Late game, this is not even going to matter. The second way is by killing things. You can harvest resources to get XP, or you can craft things. And so we're going to go the crafting route today. We'll also be killing some things and all that, but crafting is easy. It's an easy way to get XP. So I've made up a couple mortar and pestles here. Level 6 is where we get the mortar and pestle. I went ahead and made the superstructures version. If I remember correctly, the only difference is this one can be locked, and since we're on a multiplayer server, I don't necessarily want anybody fishing in my stuff and getting out my precious materials. So we have 3 different things we can craft in here to score some XP, and we're going to actually be using some of these anyway. So I remember these narco berries I told you not to eat. Let's throw some of those in there. And then spoiled meat. And notice we get the narcotic to light up. And of course you have to have the engram. The engram is probably also 6. Yep. Narcotic, spark powder will be 1, and then we'll also be making some stimulant here in a little bit. So yeah, now that we have that, we can either just press the A button to craft all, or you can, the usual methods. And we've created some narcotic. All right. So what can we use this for? We can either use it as a crafting material to make Tranq Arrows, which we're going to need here in a little bit, or you can put them into a dinosaur's inventory just like you can narco berries to you force feed them when you're taming them, and that'll increase their torpor. I'll go into the mechanics of that a little bit later, but do know that narcotic is a lot better than using berries. Not only does narcotic do a lot more torpor, or build torpor a lot more, but it also does not actually increase their food stat. A dinosaur will eat less of the food you're trying to tame them with if you're using narco berries, because you're literally feeding them berries and giving them food. Narcotic will not increase that food stat, so it's a much better thing to tame with. And let's go to our other mortar and pestle here and talk about some of the other stuff we need. We're going to need spark powder. Now, spark powder can be used, we're just going to go ahead and craft up whatever we got. It requires flint and stone, and this can be used for a lot of stuff, actually. It's a crafting ingredient in the fabricator, crafting ingredient in, let's see, gunpowder, and then for our immediate needs, it's actually a crafting ingredient in stimulant, and we're going to make some stimulant. We don't necessarily need stimulant right now, but we're going to make it just to get some XP. The other thing that spark powder is good for is putting in the preserving bin. It actually fuels the preserving bin, but we won't be doing that right now. So a trick for getting spoiled meat. So obviously we know that do I have any meat? I don't have any meat. Let's get meat. I need your meat, buddy. So one trick that you can use for spoiling your meat faster, so let's talk about how this works. I have a spoil time of 9 minutes and 12 seconds on here. So at the end of 9 minutes and 12 seconds, one piece of meat off of this stack of 41 is going to spoil, and then the timer will reset. It's going to take forever for all that meat to spoil. So what we can do is right-click on this, go down to Split Stack, and Split All. And now we have 40 stacks of one piece of meat. So now they all have a spoil time of 8 minutes and 40 seconds. So instead of the entire stack taking, a day to expire, all of these are going to expire in 8 minutes. So pro tip there. But the main thing that we wanted today was narcotic. What we're going to do is create some Tranq Arrows. So far we've been knocking stuff out with either our fists, in the case of Bob over there, and then we knocked out Jenny with a slingshot. And I mean, that was a lot of stones, and we went through 2 slingshots trying to get her out. If we do anything else, we're going to need some more firepower. And so the next step up is the Tranq Arrow. Tranq Arrow is pretty easy to make. You just make some arrows first, which is fiber, flint, and thatch. Why no wood, I don't know. I've already made up some arrows, so now I just need to add narcotic to those arrows to get Tranq Arrows. On a side note, I went ahead and leveled myself up, so I'm level 41 now. You're probably not at this level yet. I've done a bunch of retakes and running around and mining things and screwing stuff up. But what I have done is not used my available engram points so that you guys can kind of see what I buy and when. So we're still kind of effectively leveling realistically, but it keeps that message off the top of the screen that says, you have a level up. So as you can see, picking berries by hand, especially with the amount of berries that we need, takes forever. So we're going to go get ourselves a... I'm going to see if I can find a Moschops. Okay, so we kind of hit the jackpot here. We have a level 80 Moschops, and it only wants Mijo berries. Jackpot, right? So let's grab some berries real quick. And so let's show you how to do a passive tame. Almost all the passive tames are pretty much this way. You take your thing that they want. A lot of things will just want berries in general. Moschops want something specific. They'll say it, when you're looking at them. And see how it says feed Mijo berries to tame. As long as I have Mijo berries down here in the 0 slot, I can just go boop and feed them. And this is a male. So we'll call you Mo. Cool thing about Moschops, you can ride them without a saddle. They can do a little bit of damage. They can do, they'll protect you a little bit. They're pretty slow and getting levels, but they can chew on bushes and trees and all kinds of stuff. And not only do they harvest them much faster than you can, but they yield more when you use them. So let's see what Jenny's got, or what Mo's got. He's got a bunch of wood. We don't need that right now. What we're actually interested in is these narco berries. So I'm just going to take those out of his inventory. I don't think we even worry about the stimulant. I'll take those anyway. Notice he got a ton of fiber and a ton of thatch just from like 3 bites. These guys are great for harvesting just early level resources. So I'm just going to drop everything else. I'm going to bump up his weight. And then we're going to roam around and we're going to get some more berries. Alright, so into our stimulant maker, we'll just dump all those stem berries. Into the narcotic maker, we'll dump all of our narco berries there, plus the extra stuff there. And so we're going to wait for this to cook, and then we're going to go hunting for a couple more dinos to tame. Alright, we're waiting for our narcotic to cook, and I want to just show you something. So we won't be using Jenny as much very soon, so I want to talk about Jenny's turret mode. If you hold E and you go into here to alert settings, but what we're actually interested in is this enable turret mode. So turret mode for most things will not only keep them from moving, so they'll stay in one spot, but they all have, you know, little special powers about their individual turret modes. And with Jenny's, it is the same as the right click. She will find bad guys that are around here and highlight them for us. Okay, so I've been all the way up and down this beach to the left side, and there's just no love on this beach for me. I would like a pteranodon, and the best I have found so far has been a level 5. So we need to go the other direction, and if you'll remember correctly, there was a Spino down there, and if I remember, that was a level 5 Spino. That may be in the realm of possibility of us killing. So just in case, I'm going to film this. I'm probably going to die, but just in case, I'm going to try to take out this Spino. So let's leave Jenny here. She is not going to hold up to a Spino at all. Let's dump anything important over here. We'll take some meat with us, and some narcotic, and then our Tranq Arrows. I have no idea how many Tranq Arrows it would take to put out a level 5 Spino. I suspect it's probably 10 or 15. So we're going to try to outmaneuver this guy, because we don't have a trap set up, and we don't really have... Oh boy. We're going to try to build a perch. We're going to get ourselves up high enough in the air where the Spino can't get us, and then we're going to shoot at him and see what happens. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. So when your tools break, you can actually just right-click on them, and if you have all the materials required to repair them, which in this case is flint, thatch, and wood, as you can see, you just right-click on there and go to repair, and it'll just repair it right in your toolbar. So thatch will get eaten up pretty quick by, well, any dinosaur. So we're going to try to make something a little more sturdy. Wood is the next step up in lines. Okay, now that we've got everything crafted, I'm just going to drop all the excess stuff so that we have to make a break for it. We can. So we want to build this as close to the Spino as we can without getting in the aggro range of the Spino, because let's face it, right now that Spino would just munch us into little chewy bits. So I want to build this 4 walls high. I actually don't know how far a Spino can reach, but I'm assuming not more than 4 walls. If it is more than 4 walls, then, well, we're going to die. Alright, so we're pretty far up here. We've got our handy dandy bow. We're going to put our Tranq Arrows in here. Why are we not going to kill the Spino? Because even at a level 5, a Spino at this level would be quite an asset. Okay, so our Spino took off way over there. So we're going to tear down our perch and get a little closer. So this is a good time to show you one of the neat little tools and superstructures. If you hold the N button, you'll get a bunch of construction tools here and different guns that do different things. And one of my favorites is actually the transfer gun. We'll talk about that later. But the demo gun. What this does is, so this, well, the gun is gray here. It will just pick things up. So I shoot at something and boop. And that's just like going up to it and, you know, oops, you can't do a lot of stuff with the gun out. If you hold here and it says pick up wood wall, it's functionally identical to that, but you can tear down a structure pretty quickly just by shooting all the pieces you want to pick up. Okay, so we rebuilt our perch over here from over there, and the Spino just keeps moving, so I'm just going to take a shot at him and see what happens. So there's currently a bug where, in fact, let me talk about that for a second. So sometimes when you pull out your bow or your slingshot and you try to fire it, it just won't do it. All you have to do is hit the R button to reload, and that seems to be fixing it. I probably should have used a stone arrow. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I don't want to run over there and piss this guy off, and then he eats my face. So we're going to hang out here for just a second to see if he comes this way. Hey, I got a hit. That pissed him off. Alright, now we're going to find out that he can totally hit us up there. Well, I'm just going to peace out of this one. But we have a good shot of a Spino totally eating our perch. I wonder if I could do this. So sometimes when they get preoccupied with your structures, you can actually just shoot them and knock them out real fast. This is also extremely dangerous and will probably end in my death. Okay, so this is actually a good sign. When a dino gets to about 80% of its torpor, maximum torpor, they're going to start running. And when they do, that means you're in good shape. And they typically kind of run around in circles. Ah, crap. This is actually really bad. So this poor Spino has passed out in the water right in front of a Megalodon. And there's Piranha on my butt, so I'm most likely going to die anyway, right next to this dino that I really want to tame. Oh, I'm gonna die. And I died. Okay, so I've respawned, and we're actually in a really precarious position here. I just died right over there. Piranha's eating my butt. And all my equipment is sitting right there because, you know, dead body. And this Spino, if the Megalodon did not kill it already, could probably wake up at any point in time, which is really bad for us. And of course, the Megalodon and the Piranha are just going to sit right there and wait for me to go in the water. Let's grab our stuff real quick. Back up. I think we could probably deal with this Piranha here. Let's put some regular arrows in there. Where you at, buddy? I would like to kill you. Okay, the Piranha's kind of leaving us alone for a second. This is good. So let's go check out our Spino that we just put to sleep. That's actually not bad. We still have plenty of torpor in there. Ah! This jerk. Really? After all that, he just rolled up on land and died? Ah, whatever. I'm going to feed you to a Spino. So, Spinos are carnivores. They like meat. We don't have any really special meat right now that we can use. And that Megalodon is making me real nervous. So we're just going to go to this guy. I don't even know what he likes. Apparently he likes fish. He tamed up real fast. Alright, hey, sweet. We have a big old monster we're going to use now. Come over here, buddy. Well, aren't you just pretty? So, our first major problem is you don't get the Spino saddle until like level, I don't know, 70 or 80. I mean, it is way down there. Another pro tip here, if you do a search for what you want, it may not actually show you the picture or give you the text, but it will totally tell you that the search still works. So yes, the Spino saddle is at 71. So really all we can do with this Spino right now, I mean, I guess this is a net win, right? So the Spino's not in the way anymore, and it's not going to eat Jenny. But it's also a level 6. This is a pretty bottom of the barrel. Jenny has more health than this guy does. Is this a guy? This is a guy. So yeah, pretty weak Spino. The weight is pathetic. The stamina is pathetic. The health is pathetic. But this Spino could totally eat some people. If we need a little bit of defense, and it's out of our way. So this is a net win for us. What are we going to call this guy? I'm going to call him Brock. So we're going to set Brock to follow. We're going to whistle him neutral so that he will attack anything that comes after us, and we're going to head back home. Now, one of the neat things that we can do with Brock now is send him hunting. For instance, there's a piranha right here that's just aching to take a bite out of my toes. So I'm going to use the period key. And if I can hit him, there we go. I'm going to whistle Brock to attack. Brock, do you think maybe you want to go out in the water and attack the fishy for me? Ah, oh no. Brock, what are you doing? You're embarrassing me, guy. Come on, man. There we go. Go get him, Brock. Yeah. Now we have some fresh fish. Well, he's not much, but he's a hell of a fisherman. Alright guys, we scored some pretty good stuff today. We made ourselves some Tranq Arrows. We scored ourselves a Moschops, and we got ourselves a Spino. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Next episode, we're going to talk about poop. Lots of poop. And we're going to tame ourselves the poop monster, also farming.